Hi guys, Vicky here, and welcome back to Let's Talk United. As you all know, United began their preseason yesterday, and Erik's Ten Hag era kicked off with a 4-0 win over Liverpool in Thailand. And in this video, we would look back at the game and try to take away the positives and see what changed from the previous season. And finally, we would end it with the player ratings. So yeah, to start off about the game, like it started raining before we had the kickoff, and I kind of felt that United would struggle a bit against Liverpool because mainly because Liverpool is a well drilled team, and Klopp had been at Liverpool for more than 6 years, and with Ten Hag who has got like more or less just 2 to 3 weeks of training. One The first week was with the academy players mostly, and only the second week the internationals came back. So I thought Ten Hag would take a couple more weeks to get his thoughts in, but that didn't seem to be the case. Luckily, to be honest, and it looks like Ten Hag has got United starting to play the way he wants them to play. So yeah, so the key takeaways from the game is that like Ten Hag methods are already bearing fruit. Even before Manchester United three goal first of flurry, it was very clear that Erik Ten Hag had been like meticulously drilling into his players throughout the pre-season. We are getting sharper reaction and clarity in transition, confidence on the ball, and cohesion without it. And like there was a zip about Manchester United play. We are passing quicker, yeah, hunger to the pressing, and it was more or less like a team performance rather than just individuals trying to create something. It also like made for a very good watch, and to see the training methods translate into a match situation, right? I think Erik Ten Hag would have been like very very happy, and like even he downplayed the result, but he would have been happy with what he saw on the pitch. So anyways, like a 4-0 victory over Liverpool in Bangkok will count for nothing if United don't keep the momentum going when they meet when the Premier League starts on August 22nd, right? But like still there are like a lot of positives that we could take away from the game, and like Erik Ten Hag hasn't got all the players he wanted, but like he has started the preseason well, mainly around the physical and tactical conditioning of the players, and he has a philosophy that he wants to implement, and I think United players have started buying into it, and next we have the Australian tour to come, and then we would have the Premier League season, and United should be consistent, right? So that is something like we missed last season. And one more takeaway is with Sancho. So like United have been having problem with the right wing. We tried a lot of different players, and we want to bring in players like Anthony to play on the right wing. For so long, Manchester United have lacked the balance, mainly due to like lack of players who are like more comfortable. They can play on the right, Rashford, Martial, but they aren't like as comfortable. So yeah, like the arrival of Jadon Sancho last season, so I thought like he would primarily play on the right, but he was switching wings game after game, but and also his start was like bit underwhelming, and once like Rashford fell out of form and fitness, Sancho primarily played on the left, and like as I mentioned before, Anthony is in the talks to fill the right side, but Sancho's performance yesterday, like first half performance yesterday, was very decent, to be honest. And I think Erik Ten Hag is like trying to bring Sancho up to speed, and even against the youngsters, like so Sancho started against I would say like Liverpool B team, but he looked very comfortable on the ball on the right. So I think like it would be where we could expect Sancho to play on the longer run, and it was like very evident when he started the scoring, but he was actually on the left when he did Sancho and Rashford exchanged position. So those happens, right? Like so it is a fluid front three with Martial, and Martial had a very good game, and I think this is how Erik Ten Hag would set up. And I'm not sure like where Ronaldo would fit in, but I think like Erik would have a proper plan for Ronaldo. And Sancho's like adding on to Sancho's link up play, like it improved a lot, mainly because like Diego Dallo was playing on the right, and he was always an option on the right. He did like a lot of overlaps, which and also like he gave Sancho to take up the right flank, and he moved inward. So this enabled Sancho to actually take up more attacking positions, and this is where I think like Aaron Van Bissaka lacks, and hopefully we would bring in somebody to actually compete, or even take the first team place from Dallo on the right wing. But if Sancho can keep it up, and if the right back and Sancho comes and has a good chemistry, it is going to be like a good. We are going to have a good attacking threat on the right. And another thing I want to talk about is Martial. So Sancho, Martial, and Rashford would be the perfect fluid front three. I think like Ole wanted to play with them, but the arrival of Ronaldo meant that he had to be loan to Sevilla for the second half of last season. And we all know like how Martial started with the stunning solo goal against Liverpool, but it's been like so long, right? He got the Golden Boy award that year before he moved to United, and he is full of talent and potential. There are like bits and pieces of that on show during his years, but like not only United, right? Like none of the players have been good on consistent basis, and I think like if this season under Erik Ten Hag doesn't work out, I think Martial would be moved on. He might be moved on even before that. Like nobody knows. We still have the transfer window open, and even with Sevilla, he just scored one goal, and like he's like almost 26 now, and I think this would probably be his last opportunity to repay the faith the club has showed in him. Like we bought him when he was 19 and 18, right? 18 or 19, something around that. So after like almost like it's 7 years with the club, and we do need a consistent return from him this year, or most likely he could be moved on. But I think like if anybody could get the best out of Martial, Rashford, and Sancho, it has to be Erik Ten Hag. And I think like the way he took up the goal, the way he starts to enjoy the game, right? Like Martial, when he enjoys the game, he seems unplayable literally. So yeah, like looking forward to trademark Martial style runs in the new season, and hopefully this front three, right? So this front three is something I think would work, and it's very fluid, and they could like play on anywhere on the front. So that is something I think it would actually like suit Martial. So hopefully this is his season to deliver. And the next point I would talk about is uh, we all know like we had like only one signing, and Tyrell Malacia, he came on in the second half, and it was kind of a tough outing for Tyrell. He came on at half time when Ten Hag made 10 changes. Only like De Gea stayed on the pitch, so mostly it was the academy players and a few squad players. So yeah, like I kind of felt that he found it tough to gel with the team initially, mainly because I think like he had just 1 week of training, but there are like still glimpses of his potential. So like yeah, so like Ten Hag even in yesterday's interview described Tyrell as the modern day fullback who defends and attack. So that is something I think we would see a lot from United this season, mainly because the fullbacks move into the midfield during transition, and his arrival, Tyrell Malaysia's arrival, should mean that Telles would leave United. He was playing, he slotted in at center left center back last game, mainly because we had all our other center backs injured. But I think it was Bailey who mostly helped Alex Telles, and I think like Bailey had man of the match performance yesterday. So yeah, I think like it's more or less the end of Telles at United. And speaking about the youngsters, right? So there are like a lot of youngsters at show, mainly in the second half, and there was a chance for some of the youngsters to showcase their talent to Ten Hag. So Charlie Savage was one, Zidane Iqbal was one, and Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo were all introduced in the second half. And yeah, you would know that Savage is the son of Robbie and like and Iqbal, like Zidane Iqbal. They both played in the midfield, and I think like they played really well, taking into the fact that like the final 30 minutes of the half, Liverpool played to almost a full strength, and they had more or less their primary midfield, and Savage and Iqbal, they did make their debut last season against young boys in the Champions League. So Ralph Ragnick gave them the debut. So hopefully they both of them would get more minutes under Ten Hag this season. Iqbal plays for Iraq. He's a full international, and I think like he was good with his passing range and dribbling, while Savage was like very very composed, like for his age, and he kept hold of possession well, which United failed a lot of times last season, and I think like it they would come good going forward. And Pelistri and Ahmed, they combined for the fourth goal. They almost had Robertson on the left back. They also had Virgil van Dijk, and so almost the main defense partnership. So I think Ten Hag is known for his way of bringing in academy players, whether it could be like Ajax or even when you were Bayern Munich too, which and there seems to be like a lot of good prospects at United Academy this season. We have Elanga, and Alvaro Fernandez is there, and we do have like a lot of youngsters who would Garnacho, Ethan Ladd was there, who were unused substitutes, but they will be like surely playing a key role in the remaining games. So yeah, it was a good watch, to be honest. So the match initially started, like looking back at it, the match initially started, like a bit. Like without consistency, not from Liverpool too. So Liverpool were primarily trying to attack on the right. United were favoring the left. Liverpool started with more or less their B team with Luis Diaz, Firmino, and I think yeah, uh, mostly who was there in goal for. Okay, yeah. Gomez was there at centre back. So mostly, yeah, like three, four first team players, and it was mostly the youngsters. And United start with almost our full strength, and second half reversed it and went with our younger academy players, and Liverpool Klopp made 30 minutes substitutions, and almost 30 players played for Liverpool, and United we had 22 players playing. I think both the team had good run out, but I think United would be the happier side. Not only with the win, but how they played in both the halves, mainly the second half, right, when our youngsters was playing against most of the first team of Liverpool. We did do really well, mainly because we kept hold of the ball. We didn't try to attack much, but we did keep hold of the ball, and we were able to make sure that we didn't concede and kept a clean sheet, and also we were able to get one on the counter attack. So it was a good game for mainly for Erik Ten Hag, because he would have seen like the 2 weeks of efforts he would have put on the training ground right there on the pitch, and that are like really good encouraging signs for Erik Ten Hag. He knows that this team could actually replicate his ideas on the pitch, and that is something that would keep any manager happy, right? So I think Erik Ten Hag is would have been like very happy with the performance, but there is like always room for improvement. We still have a lot more to go. We have almost a more than a month for the opening Premier League game, and I think we would be like bringing a few players in, and there would be like a lot of intense training session post this tour, preseason tour. So I think United would get there. I think Erik Ten Hag would make sure that Manchester United play the way he wants them to on the first day of the new season. So that is like very, it's going to be like exciting. It's exciting times ahead for Manchester United. And lastly, I would try to give quick player ratings of the previous the encounter with Liverpool. So to start off, we'll start off with David De Gea. So he made a great save with against Luis Diaz, and he also like came off his line twice, which is a rarity for De Gea, and hopefully he does adapt to what the way Ten Hag wants him to play specifically, because he is going to be like very important for this system. So I hope De Gea is at his best coming season. And the next would be Diego Dalot. So he started off against Luis Diaz, so he was a bit loose. He gave Diaz a lot of space on Diaz's left. So yeah, like so he's not a great defending wise, but he is very eager in attack, and he rattled the woodwork. He should have like almost scored, so he gets a 7 from me. And Victor Lindelof, he defended very calmly, and he made a couple of notable interceptions from crosses, like the headers and clearances. So he was comfortable on the ball too. So Victor Lindelof gets an 8. And Rafael Varane, like he pushed so high up the pitch, and he won lot of like throw-ins in the Liverpool's third, and he defended very solidly, but Victor was a better player yesterday. So Rafael Varane gets a 7. And Luke Shaw was very proactive and almost back to his best, and I thought like he felt a niggle during the first 20-30 minutes, and if he stays fit, I think like he would be very much involved in United's attack. So he gets a 7 from me. And the next is Scott McTominay. He was like particularly physical, even if it's friendly, right? But he looks set to retain his place if we don't sign any players in the midfield, but that's like quite unlikely. And I expect only one of Scott or Fred, or maybe like neither of them, to start the first game of the season. But Scott gets a 7 yesterday. Fred had a very good opportunity. He might have scored then, but he did like extremely well to lob Alisson before like coming off at the end of the second half. But that was like really well taken goal, and Fred gets an 8. And Bruno Fernandes, it was not the usual Bruno Fernandes of last season, so it means like like there is a glimpse of what he did the previous season. He was not wasteful in possession, and he was able to pick passes without wasting much opportunity. He was like very composed in attacks, which we didn't see much last season. I think that is going to help the way Ten Hag plays. And Jadon Sancho, like he scored the first goal to put United ahead, and he linked well with Diego Dallo, and he created a lot of chances by making runs on and off the ball. And Sancho gets a 9. And Marcus Rashford, I think he's still trying to get back to his fitness, mainly with enough game time. I think he should like look a bit more sharper, and I think like he had a good chance, he should have scored. But overall, I think there is room for Rashford, and he gets a 6 from me. And next is Anthony Martial. So Martial had a very fluid performance. He started through the middle, he moved to the left, and he finally ended up scoring in the right hand channel. So he had a very good all round game, and this is the Anthony Martial that United bought, and this is what we hope that he would be doing consistently, and hopefully the consistency is there at least for the next season. So Anthony Martial gets an 8. And subs, we had Tom Heaton, who made a great save against Darwin Nunes. As soon as he came on, he gets a 7. And Aaron Van Bissaka, Liverpool have been like attacking down the left when Bissaka was there, and so he had like very little defending to do. And he is not much of an attacker as Dallo, and that was a bit evident. And Bissaka gets a 6 yesterday. And Eric Bailey, he had a very good game. We all know like how good Eric Bailey can be on his day if he's like completely fit, and he doesn't make those rash decisions like what Smalling used to do. And he spurred the counter attack that led to United's fourth goal, so he gets an 8. And Alex Telles, he played at centre back, and so I think like he was played out of position. And it he always has a mistake or two in him, whether he plays at the left back or even now at center back, and so he just gets a five for the game. And Tyrell Malacia, he started off confidently, but I think he got caught out a couple of times, and I think he's getting used to the new team, the players and the club in general, and he gets a six. And the next is the midfield of Charlie Savage and Zidane Iqbal. So Charlie Savage, he had very disciplined performance in the midfield, and he and Iqbal were very confident on the ball, and even when playing against a very strong midfield of Liverpool, they were very confident, and there were a lot of good signs the way they kept the ball, and when they were pressed, right, they were uh, good press resistant, and that is something I think would uh, encourage Erik Ten Hag to try them more in the coming games. And Ahmad Ahmad was good. He almost had a chance to score, but he should be bulking up further, because I think he struggled against the centre backs. He is quick, but the physical part of the game is literally absent, and he gets bullied way too often by the defender. So if he improves that, I think maybe a loan or two over the next couple of seasons would help his growth. And he gets a six. And Donny van de Beek, he took up the number 10 role after Fernandez left, and I didn't see him involved much. He literally had very little impact, and he gets a 5 from me. And then we have Facundo Pellistri. So on the right, he did not get to see much of the ball, since Liverpool dominated possession in the last 30 minutes. But the good counter attack which Bailey started, and he was able to finish it off with a 1-2 with Ahmad. So he had his goal, which would be good. And I think Pelistri is somebody who could actually play on the right for United. He has done it for Alaves and Uruguay, and I think he has it in him to do that on a regular basis. Maybe not this season, maybe in a season or two. I think Facundo can be a very good option for United going forward. And Anthony Alanga had a great season last time around, after Ralph gave him a continuous run of games over other attacking options like Rashford and Sancho. But he was more or less anonymous yesterday. He did not do much. So yeah, so I would give a 5 for him. So mostly that's it for the prayer ratings. And to talk about Erik Ten Hag before we finish this off. So Erik Ten Hag, I think he has a very clear philosophy of how he wants his team to play. And there were a lot of encouraging signs yesterday, and he would have been very happy with the way both the youngsters and the first 11 played. And maybe going forward, once we get in players Erik Ten Hag is very much used to. He has trained players like Frankie de Jong, and players like Lisandro Martinez and Anthony for almost 2-3 years. And these are the players who would come in, slot in, and they would start playing the way Erik Ten Hag wants them to play. So I think these are the reasons that we are so hell bent on bringing Frankie de Jong. And I think he's going to be one of the key pieces in midfield, mainly because I did not see McTominay or Fred trying to come back getting the ball off the centre backs and trying to pass it forward. But Zidane, Iqbal, and Charlie Savage did them, and Frankie De Jong is somebody who is used to do that at the highest level, and he would be starting. Hopefully starting United attacks going forward, and Lisandro Martinez would be another good addition either at left centre back or I think like defensive mid. He's a ball playing defender, and I think he has what it takes to play for United. I think like the options we have now, Varane is injury prone, Bailey is very injury prone, Maguire. I think he could come good under Erik Ten Hag, but we have to like wait and see. Similarly with Lindelof, I think one of the two would be a regular starter, and the other one would be Lisandro Martinez. So hopefully we get to bring in more quality, and we do need one more attacker. Like the fluid front three of Rashford, Martial, and Sancho would be starting most of the games if Ronaldo leaves, and I think that put us short by at least one or two attackers. I think Anthony would be a good option mainly because he can play across the front line, and I don't think like we have other great option. Maybe Serge Gnabry with Bayern. I think like he might look to leave, and uh, heard that Chelsea is interested, and so I think we should try for players who are comfortable playing across the front three, not an out and out striker, more or less anybody who could play false nines. So I think going forward we still have lot of time left in the transfer window, and I think United would make at least 3 to 4 signings. Ericsson should be the next signing most likely next week, and hopefully the players who already are there with the club get better. They listen to Ten Hag, and they try to do what he asks of them, and hopefully we see a new United in the coming season. But the initial signs are very encouraging. So it is like good to watch, and we are playing one twos, we are moving the ball quicker, and we are trying to innovate, we are doing a lot of things, and so it's going to be a good watch this season. Hopefully United fulfill the potential, both Erik Ten Hag and the players hope they give their best, and I am like really looking forward to the next season, and yeah, that's a wrap, guys, and we have our next preseason game against, I think it's Melbourne Victory, I think, yeah, and it's after a couple of days, and I would try to get get to do a watch along for that, or we would review it once the game gets done. So thanks a lot, guys, for the support. Please like, share, and subscribe, so we could keep on covering Manchester United. Thank you.